So, what are some of the major muscle movements that you made over that year that you think led to where the culture of the company is today?
Yeah, in that so we went through a year leading up to it to get people, to strategically kind of announce to the staff and then to clients and whatnot. And then after we closed on it, and during that period, there was a lot more stepping back by the previous owner, and I anything that I wasn't already controlling, I took full control of. And so it was pretty natural on the back end of it, backside of it. The one change and probably the biggest challenge for me was I love to look at things from every angle. I probably overthink things and there's some
Okay.
perfectionism.
Yeah.
And so I had to get used to making solo decisions and understanding the risk of if I stall and delay on a decision for a month or two or don't make a decision, seeing the risk in that of indecision versus making a wrong small decision today that could be, rolled back tomorrow if need be. And so as people were coming exclusively to me and I didn't have somebody else to bounce things off of, that's where I had to, that was probably the biggest adjustment for me and for everybody to get used to is some of the decision process and how that would go. And so the first 6 months, I learned a lot of lessons around that personally.
Yeah, for sure. I would say, the analogy that comes to mind is like going through a maze. So if you're going through a maze and you take your time on every turn that you make, it's just going to take an exponentially long time getting through that maze. Versus if you're just like constantly just picking off walls, maybe that's not like the best result because everybody's following you and they're all kind of like disheveled. So maybe like a happy medium, if you keep a nice little rhythm through a maze, you can kind of get through it pretty quickly. And if you're at like a, Chili's or, one of those restaurants, you can get through the maze before the food shows up, right? But
Yeah.
if you're sitting there going, I don't know if I should take a left, it's like quite challenging.
Well, and a lot of those decisions were with the goal of not making big changes. I wanted a year of just stability and to get settled. And the following 2 or 3 years, which are still continuing, were where I finally decided that the incremental things and the small things I was doing weren't gonna get me where I wanted to go and or keep up with how the world around us in terms of technology and AI was changing, because
No.
this happened before the explosion of AI and a lot of changes in the spaces
This
that
was back
my
in 2005, correct?
focus is in.
This
What's
this
that?
was this was back in 2005,
This
correct?
was so went through the transition in 2002.
Wow.
So 2003 was the year I was focused on just stability, don't change a lot, let's have some continuity. And 2024 is when I had to face some challenges to the business model that we had really kind of been really stable in for 10 years, 8 or 10 years, of the services we were offering, the types of clients we were working with, our pricing and contract structure and performance. Um, KPIs for clients in the digital marketing world. And even, and we were still doing things like branding and we were doing social media, all the different channels, and had to make some decisions and made those a couple of years ago and fully implemented them last year. Or last year was really 2025 was the first full year of them implemented with our more streamlined specialist. Instead of doing 12 things and everything for everyone, we only do
Right.
2 things. The
I
things
did
that we
see
feel
that
like
on
we
your
do as
website.
well
You
as
have like
anyone.
a specialist.
That was really the big change. It was in my mind back in 2022 and 2023, going actually back to, maybe 2017 or 18. But I was really able to make those changes and be brave and bold enough to do so, just in the past 2 or 3 years.